My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for choosing us. We don't have information on Agenda 111 in our custody. Health Ministry tells JoyNews. JoyNews' attempt to utilize the Right to Information Act has hit a snag after the Health Ministry told the media house it didn't have information on government's Agenda 111 project. We'll be telling you the rationale for our request, but before that, let's share with you details of JoyNews' letter to the Ministry of Health and their response. And we'll be getting that for you shortly. We'll be bringing Raymond Akwa, who is head of research desk, to tell us more about what he wrote to the ministry. Now, let's bring you the rationale behind our request to the ministry, and I'm joined in the studio by Raymond Akwa. He sent the letter to the ministry for requesting for that information, and we've had a number of responses coming from the ministry. He'll be sharing to us, and he would also be telling us how important this Agenda 111 is to the nation and to citizens of the country. Meanwhile, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has emphasized government's objective to expand healthcare delivery, especially in rural areas, speaking at the commissioning of 2 zipline medical drone services distribution centers at Enum in the eastern region and Kitikrachi in the Oti region. Dr. Bawumia said Ghana is the only country in the world which has employed the use of drones during the COVID pandemic to distribute essential medical supplies. There's more in the following report.
The commissioning of the 2 distribution centers brings the number to 6 centers situated at vantage points across the country. The centers are serving over 2,300 health facilities. The newly commissioned Enum and Kitikrachi distribution centers would aid the timely delivery of medical consumables to health facilities in the Volta. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, underscored the contributions of Zipline to the fight against COVID-19 and general health care delivery in the country, especially rural areas.
When the world was hit by the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic and all countries were challenged by the difficulties of even distribution of vaccines, the Zipline drones came in handy. My understanding is that close to 1 million COVID-19 vaccines have so far been delivered by Zipline to many health facilities across the country. This, no doubt, is one of the contributing factors for which reason we have not experienced massive expiries of the vaccines as happened in many other countries. By this also, Ghana, through the operation of Zipline, has become the only country in the entire world, to use drones to deliver COVID-19 vaccines to those centers with the hope of ensuring that all citizens get the opportunity to be vaccinated.
He also detailed that Zipline has helped to efficiently manage medical consumables.
From Onako to Impanya, Vopsi to Sofiuoso, and now Enum to Kitikrachi, Zipline drones have been almost everywhere, flying over hills and valleys to bring healthcare closer to the people. Beyond the immediate benefits of drone delivery of vaccines and essential medical products to recipients, it is the improvement in the management and distribution of medical supplies from the various central storage facilities that is also important. The issues of wastage, unaccounted medications, poor disbursement records, expiry of medications have reduced substantially, and we now have a robust structure that in Ghana that can be appraised and monitored. The whole delivery process in the context of the zip line in the supply chain is very much digitized.
The general manager of Zipline, Nana Adoko Yosen, hinted that her outfit is aiming at extending its services to homes.
Since 2019, we have delivered 1.7 million medical commodities, including blood, essential medicines, and vaccines to over 2,300 health facilities across 147 districts in 13 regions. Your Excellency, it is interesting to note that since we started our operations from these two centers in December, we have already delivered close to 200,000 units of critical medical products from Enum and Ketekrachi sites. This expanded business cooperation, supported by the Government of Ghana, the Ministry of Health, and our allied partners, has witnessed comprehensive and rapid development in the health sector. Aside from the home accommodation of reducing the incidence of infant mortality through vaccine distribution program and the swift to medical emergencies in remote areas, we have also been recognized internationally with the accolade of being the world's first and only national drone delivery service. As we look forward to the future, we will later this year begin home deliveries, which will see individuals request and receive supplies in the comfort of their homes. It is our hope that together we will make a relentless effort to promote healthcare deliveries and well-being.
The divisional chief of Nyangbosre, Ekusi Owusu IX, commended the government on the initiative and was optimistic it would enhance healthcare delivery in his area.
On top of what you see on your right is Nyangbofiafe, the highest habitation place in Ghana, standing at a height of 2,295 feet above sea level. This new drone technology will be life-saving in drug delivery to the of Nyangbosre and its surrounding villages. We are very grateful for this modern technology you and your government have brought to our doorsteps.
Zipline Medical Drone Services has created over 300 jobs across the country. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Nyangbosre.
We can now go back to Joy News' request for information from the Ministry of Health, which has hit a snag. According to the Right to Information Bill, you can access information from any media house. Now, let's look at the response that is coming from, because that information we requested was from the Agenda 111 project. So this is our request for information about Government's Agenda 111 project. It's on your screen right now. Pursuant to the Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989, I write to request access to information held by your office with the following details. Now, it says 1, copies of the policy or policies underpinning the project, which is Agenda 111, detailed project proposal including feasibility studies and funding sources secured. 3, list of all districts where projects will be cited, detailed plan for commencement and completion of each of the projects, and 5, detailed plan for staffing and operation of each of the hospitals. So this is the request that came from Joy News, and it was submitted by Raymond Aqua, who is head of research desk. Kindly supply the certified copies in a PDF file and send via mail to me at raymond.aqua@myjoyonline.com, or send hard copies to the undersigned at the designated address, yours in the service of humanity. And you can see that it was forwarded by Raymond Aqua, who is head of research desk at Joy News at Multimedia Group Limited. Now, we can now look at the rationale behind our request to the ministry. And I'm joined in the studio by head of research desk, Raymond Aqua, who actually requested for that information but was declined. that information. Raymond, let's first look at why this project is important.
Because that's perhaps government's biggest project in the area of health, proceeding from the year 2020 to 2021. Let's not forget, even way back in 2019, we had plans of building hospitals. But in 2020, remember the President of the Republic of Ghana said at the height of COVID, it exposed some of our difficulties across the country when it comes to healthcare provision and the infrastructure in this area. So we planned to do some 8-8. Later on, it became a bigger, bolder government agenda, launched, properly put out there, stipulating that we are going for 111 hospitals. The conversation started with where we are getting the money from and all of that. But later on, government came in to tell us that we have secured $100 million for this project. So the discussions about how much is involved, the discussions about what is the policy document underpinning this entire project. And we're also told, I mean, if you even check the Ministry of Health's website, indeed, there was an implementation committee, which is chaired by the Chief of Staff, that was also put there. So in fairness, we actually submitted letters to the Ministry of Health, that particular implementation committee, and also to relevant state institutions we may think may have similar information. All that we've been asking is which policy or policies underpin our quest to build 111 hospitals. 2, we needed to find out whether we are fully secured, because we've been told some 100 million will come on board. We first were told that some 600 million was supposed to be used, that cities were supposed to be used for this project, which really was interesting because of the budgetary conversations we've had over this. Okay. So have we secured the money? How much of that has been spent? And what's the status of implementation of this project? So we also wanted to know the bigger outlay. There have been snippets of information from government institutions and ones put out there. And one of the things you should know also is that people ask, so why the health ministry? Because just 2 months ago, on the 11th of January, the health minister himself actually told us in the press that some Agenda 111 projects were facing challenges, but government's on course. Okay. Don't forget, the president led the project. He went to actually cut the sword for the commencement of some of these projects. That's information from the health minister. You don't need to go far into the health ministry's website to see some of the things that the ministry itself tells us is happening in connection with this one. In fact, it was that ministry that released that statement and said, government has secured 100 million startup fund for Agenda 111 projects. And this was at a similar event that the minister spoke about, the status of the project. So there are full details that also was submitted by this same ministry. All that we wanted to find out is, beyond this snippet of information, is there, for example, a document ready, proposal that stipulates exactly what we want from it, that details all of this, so that it's not like what we are getting from the various government institutions. That's why we send a letter asking them some of these specific informations and for the information to be supplied. The alternative, of course, they have 14 days to reply. So with time, they came back that they would reply. So then this was their reply.
What was their response?
So it's pretty simple. They came back with a direct response saying that they do not have the information in their custody. Okay. If you need me, read exactly the words there. And it's important because this is the chief director who is speaking directly on behalf of the substantive minister for the ministry. This is exactly what the response which was given said. It's dated the 21st of March, 2022. Okay. And if you can see it, even on our screen, it says that RTI response. This is about your letter dated February 11, 2022, on the subject request for information about government's Agenda 111 projects. Yes. Per our records, we do not, that's their response. In fact, that's the most important part. Right. Per our records, that's the records of the ministry, we do not have the information in our custody. And thank you, the Abna Boadu Okuafari is the chief director. He signed on behalf of the substantive minister. The minister who not long ago, 2 months ago, had actually come out to tell us the challenges they are facing in the implementation of the program. The minister who had released the statement about the 100 million being secured and used to project it. Let's not forget, amount of money secured and used to project is part of things that we are also asking. We're not just asking for what has been put out there in the open, because official information is different from what may be put out there indirectly into the public domain anyway.
So now that we don't have the information, this definitely would affect what you seek to do with that information.
All that we seek to do is to track progress, to understand the program properly and track the progress. Most of what we do in this republic has been that we embark on projects, but ideally projects beginning will come from some documents. The documents are evolved into what government reviews and is approved at the various levels. And now we have project proposals properly done, and feasibility studies across the country on all of the one sites or which other place we want to put them to know where the projects will be, how we're going to be done. And we also ask a question, which is important too, after we build them, how are we going to staff it? And what are the plans to deal with that? All of these questions have been on the minds of people. Our job was to find information and inform the people. In the interim, we may not be able to get the information from the people that we thought had it. We will press forward and ask other government institutions if they equally have anything, or ask them to give us the information if they have it in their custody, so that we can share with the people that we supply information to all the time.
Our viewers, and definitely it's something that we should look out for, because these are nagging questions that need responses. Raymond Akwa, thank you for bringing us that update. He's head of research here at Joy News. To other stories, as the world marks the World Water Day today to raise public awareness about the significance of fresh water and sustainable management of the significant resources, my colleague Anna Sabit visited Bompa, a predominantly farming community in the Atebu Amantin municipality of the Bono East region, where residents drink from a dirty, brownish, stagnant water due to the absence of potable water source there. The people of Bompa trek several miles to neighboring community for water during Harmattan seasons, and school-going children sometimes stay out of the school as they join their parents in search of water. There's more in the following report.
Lack of clean water and sanitation are major contributors to avoidable deaths and diseases in most rural communities across the world. This lack of clean, potable water has over the years increased vulnerability to conditions including diarrhea, malnutrition and malaria amongst residents of Bompa, a predominantly farming community here in the Atibuwa Mountain municipality of the Bono East region. This dirty, brownish, stagnant water here is the only source of drinking water for the people here and their animals. This is the only water source serving the people of this community. Just take a look at our population. Children come around and bath in this water, and it is the same water source we all drink from. Water has been our major challenge here. With our population, we go through a lot during the Harmattan season, and we sometimes spend the entire day here without eating just because of water. These residents sometimes have to spend the night at the water source in order to get water for domestic purposes. Some of us sleep here from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next day before getting water. Moro Akwasi is an opinion leader here. He says the situation is even worse during the Harmattan seasons as residents trek several miles to neighboring communities in search of water. We don't have a potable water source. The only water we drink is a stagnant rainwater. So in dry season, we travel about 4 miles to Pru to get water to drink. This unfortunate situation affects both adults and children of this community, with school-going children unable to attend classes during Harmattan seasons due to the scarcity of water. Children in this community join us in search of water during Harmattan, and as a result, they do not go to school at all. Assemblyman for Fokwasi Bompa electoral area, Techi Kwabna, laments how the situation is also affecting the health of the people living in this community.
In fact, Bompa people, they are facing water problem a lot, especially during the dry season. They travel 4 miles away before they can get water to drink. Even that water is not pure for human consumption. So if they did not come to our aid, it will affect our health. So many diseases like skin rashes and all kind of diseases which we acquire from stagnant water.
As we mark the World Water Day today, a day that seeks to celebrate water as well as raise awareness of the
The theme for this year's commemoration is My Groundwater, making the invisible visible. So we ask, how much groundwater do we have as Ghanaians and how much of it have we used? How potable is the groundwater? Joining us via Zoom is Jesse Kofi Danko. He's head of programs at Water Aid Ghana. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Please, what's the name? Who am I talking to?
My name is Aisha, Mr. Danko. So let's first look at the theme for this year's celebration.
Thank you, Aisha. I want to use the opportunity to wish happy World Water Day to our viewers, our listeners, and the whole world. In fact, because we do not see groundwater, we do not value it. But the importance of the team is to let everyone to create awareness that it is important that we safeguard our water resources, those that we can see and those that are buried beneath. So I think it's the right thing for the season, because over the years, majority of people think that water is a finite resource that will never be exhausted. But just like the extractive minerals, this is also infinite. And the better we take good care of it, the better it will be for us all.
So we are looking at how much groundwater we have and how much of it we've used. We've just seen a story by my colleague in the Bono region saying that people are drinking from brownish, stagnant water, which clearly is unhealthy. How much of groundwater actually do we have? And how safe or potable is this groundwater?
Thank you. I must say, first of all, it will be difficult for me to estimate the quantity here. I think the Water Resources Commission will be in the right position to do that. But I must say that we have a lot of groundwater. And in Ghana, we say that for the physical quantity, we don't have problem with that. It's in abundance with our water resources and other things. But the challenge is with the economic quantity, economic in terms of storage, how we are able to store them. If we take the rain that is raining a while, they are drained into the sea, we may have a challenge with the economic water quantity in future. People are drinking brown water and other things because we assume, most people think that it's only climate impact, that maybe natural impacts that is affecting our water quality. But there are a lot of things that we as humans are doing. And the most commonest one to us is the illegal mining that is happening in water body upstreams. And this is draining into water bodies that people are using downstream. So our own activities, farming close to water bodies, siltation and pollution, use of chemicals and other things, we are actually contaminating the water that we see. And unfortunately, some of these water bodies are recharging our groundwater. So if care is not taken and the groundwater gets contaminated, then we'll be in a dire situation.
And talking about this contamination, how can we make the groundwater better for consumption, knowing very well that it supplements the already clean water that we have?
So we would say it is in the hands of all of us. Everybody needs to take action now. First of all, at Water Aid, we have been carrying out some activities to let the communities themselves see that things are changing. We've taken them through training to monitor the groundwater, the water level using the shallow wells, like under well, and to measure the intensity of rainfall, and use this to engage the whole community to create awareness that, yes, things are changing. We are in the era of climate change, and we need to take some actions to safeguard or protect our water bodies. We've been telling government that, in fact, in all your adaptation plans, climate adaptation plans, please prioritize drinking water. We have realized over the years that most of the focus is on water resources for irrigation and energy, but we are calling government to action to include and focus and prioritize drinking water in all adaptation plans. So this means that measures that we need to take, if we need to create buffer around water bodies, if we need to, and we also need to provide livelihood to people, I mean, targeted livelihoods. There are people who depend maybe on charcoal burning, firewood, overgrazing, that are exposing even the ground, and during runoff, and open defecation that we are doing, during runoff that can run into water bodies which are recharging the groundwater. We need to take action as soon as possible. And I think that is what most NGOs are doing now, to create awareness that our action indirectly impacts on the quality of water that we are using.
Jesse Kofi Danko, I'm grateful for your time this morning. He's head of programs at Water Aid Ghana.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Oil marketing company Petrosol is urging fuel users to always insist on clean fuels free from any impurity for longer mileage in this time of rising fuel prices. Head of Marketing and Strategy at Petrosol, Kwesi Ziga, says the use of clean fuels and clean lubricants reduces the pressure on engines and ultimately ensures efficient burning of fuel over longer distances than unclean fuels. He was educating fuel consumers at Polugu in the Talensi district of the Upper East region, where Petrosol has opened a new station.
Oil marketing company Petrosol has 120 fuel stations across the country. The company has opened a new station at Polugu in the Talensi district of the Upper East region, bringing the total number of stations in the region to 6. At the commissioning of the new station, Head of Marketing and Strategy at Petrosol, Kwesi Ziga, educated fuel users on the advantages of ensuring that the fuels and lubricants they use are very clean. He said Petrosol believes in marketing quality fuel that is pure, stored in clean tanks, and served in well-calibrated pumps.
Our fuel is free of impurities, it's free of water, particles, and any other sediment. And because our fuel is clean, it burns efficiently in the engine and thereby giving the engine more power. So when you use our fuel, Petrosol branded fuels, you go extra mile or extra kilometer. You may notice that somewhere in 2017 we won an award, and the award we won was because we went to town educating customers, and I did the same thing this morning. So there is a 10-liter can. It's a can, given to all fuel stations in Ghana by Ghana Standard Authority. That can measures quantity. So at Petrosol station you always have this can, and we use this can to always recalibrate our pumps to make sure our pumps are delivering at the right measure, at the right quantity. When you get to the fuel station, my advice to consumers is that when you get to any fuel station to buy fuel, please observe the processes involved.
He added that the new Polugu Petrosol station is strategically positioned to serve all manner of customers, from the very high consumers to the ordinary motorcycle users.
We are bringing quality and quantity, and all this at competitive price. In hard times, consumers are seeking value, so everybody wants to make a saving. So the right way to save money is when you buy the right product. You save money because you save on maintenance costs. For instance, we've had a lot of complaints from the mechanics that the rate at which customers are coming with the complaints about fuel pump, engine fuel pump, is going up. So when you buy quality fuel, you save yourself, the cost of going to change your fuel pump.
For Joy News, Albert Sori, Pualugu, Upper East Region.
And that's business for now. Coming up next is sports.
It is time for sports. Mufsal Nabila is here with the very latest.
Yes, the invisible Blaster squad is finally out. So 27 players have been assembled by Otto Addo, Chris Hilton, Didi Dramani, and then George Boateng for the tie, which happens on Friday. The first leg is on Friday. So Jojo Walakot is in there, as I mentioned yesterday, and then we have Abdulmanaf Nuruddin, Lawrence Atizigan, and Richard Ofori. For the defenders is Dennis Odoi. He's making his debut. He's 33 years old. Andy Yadom, Gideon Mensah. Then the causer of House of Oak, Muntari Kameheni, former player of Dreams FC. He plays for Ashdod FC in Israel. There's Daniel Amate of Leicester. Joseph Edo is making a return since the World Cup qualifiers against Ethiopia. Renana Juku is also in there. Then Abdul Mumin. Abdul Mumin is here to play for the Black Stars. For the midfielders is Idrisu Baba. There's Edmond Ado of Charlotte Transport. Mohamed Kudus is also making a return. Elisha Owusu, Thomas Partey, and then Daniel Chue. These are the midfielders for the game. And the wingers, we have Fatau Isahaku, Osman Bukari, Joseph Pencil, and Yao Yebua. While the strikers is Felix Afinajan, Christopher Entry Ajay, Jordan Ayew, and Kwesi Wright. These are the players assembled for the tie.
Good team?
A good team, but it is dependent on what they can do on the field. The Nigerians are very good, but psychologically, I think the Black Stars will stand a very, very good opportunity of qualifying to the next phase.
Let's see how it goes, and that's
hopefully.
how we wrap up the bulletin this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim Muftal. Thanks for bringing us sports. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. You get all the updates on developing stories. Let's meet again at 12 p.m.